All right. This one's a really hard one for me. I will preface first thing, I do have some notes on the side that I'll be glancing over so I don't forget anything. Okay. Grooming didn't always look obvious because I grew up in it. And growing up, I felt very confused because what was placed on me was the kid to keep everything going good, the peacekeeper. So since I was the peacekeeper, I was told that I have to be the bigger person. And in order to be the bigger person, that means I have to take accountability over the entire situation, even if I wasn't in wrong of the entire situation. And what that taught me was to be able to own up to the wrongdoings that I did, but it also taught me not to question the people that were hurting me as much because I was being so much of the bigger person. I was the bigger person for everyone in the situation, that the only person that was really getting reprimanded was me. And I was the one left to fix things. And it was just a constant cycle. So it left me very confused. And it started to build a big self-doubt in myself because I was like, well, if something was wrong and I fixed it, because I did the work to fix it, why is there still something wrong? Why wasn't it really fixed? I did all the work. I know I did. And then, because your reality doesn't match up with the work that you've done, because the people in the environment are not displaying any form of change in regards to their actions towards you, that would show that, it's going better in this environment than previously, even after being the bigger person and keeping the peace. So it made me feel trapped. Because at this point I realized that it didn't matter what the fuck I said ever. I would always be the one to fix it. I would always be the one to clean up everything. I would always be the one to have to come with my tail between my legs saying I'm sorry for something that I probably don't even need to be apologizing for. And you see, this is the part of grooming they don't talk about. When you think of grooming, you immediately think of sexual tension, sexual buildup, eventually sexual assault, or even further, that it can get to. But it usually starts quietly. It usually starts with testing your boundaries, making sure that you are the one to always be silenced. Making sure that you'd always be the person that they can silence. And they did that by testing boundaries. It first started with making me be the person to keep the peace, to then slowly testing more of my boundaries of how much they can get away with. Because keeping the peace is simply, how much can I get away with in front of your face before you realize that I'm really not going to change and I'm always going to make you out to be the bad guy. That's what keeping the peace meant, at least where I came from. So the ways I started to test the boundaries was, I don't like this part. Okay, I needed a pause. So a prime example of how my boundaries was tested in my last environment, without putting any identification in regards to names, I will say there was one male and one female, and this male and female are dating. And at the time, and even till this day, I still wear these glasses that were from like almost 10 years ago. They're hella old, so my prescription isn't the best, right? And in the beginning, this male would make multiple comments stating that I'm staring at them. when they would be dressed in their robe, although I wasn't. And so I would speak to the female and say, hey, I don't understand why they keep mentioning this. It's very alarming. Like, I'm not doing these things. And so this female, in turn, would tell me, oh no, there's no way that he feels comfortable with you speaking to him while he's in his robe. Of course, you're going to make him uncomfortable. But you know what? Just avoid him when he's in his robe and just make sure to keep the peace. That's how you're going to keep the peace. Just don't talk to him when he's in his robe. And at first I was like, I'm surprised you're not questioning this more, as in like, why would that even cross my mind to do that? Let alone take his side and believing that I did. But I agreed, I kept the peace. So I was like, okay, fine. That's cool by me. I don't want to be there when he's in his robe. I do not want to be around him. I would prefer him to be clothed. So a few weeks continue to pass by, and he doesn't change his apparel or article of clothing. He continues to wear his robe. Not this time. In the environment I am in, they have an open door policy, right? Meaning, hey, if the door is open, please come in. Of course, still knock if you'd like, but you can walk on in usually. Me being me, I knock on the door. Door's wide open. I hear, come in, so I do. When I come in, the gentleman is in his robe, no t-shirt, wearing his boxers, right? He is very comfortable because of where he is. And so I'm like, okay, interesting. I immediately notice once I walk in that he's in his robe. So I avert my eyes and then make eye contact with the female that I originally came in to speak with anyways. As I'm talking, I watch this male grab his robe and immediately go like this. And he's staring at me like, and I'm like, the door's fucking open. You said to come in. I'm confused too while you're dressed like this, but who am I to ask questions? Door's open. I'm talking to the female anyways. I'm making direct tunnel view. Why? Because I don't want to look at you. You are not why I came here. As I'm speaking, he starts to turn to the female and it's like, oh, I don't know if she can tell what I'm wearing. And the female and then turns to him. It's like, oh no, she has her glasses on. She can't see. Once he hears that, he then relaxes and continues to keep his legs wide open. And he does this multiple times after this, over and over again. But he only did it when I wore my glasses. But if I had my contacts on, he was fully clothed. Now, if that ain't fucking testing boundaries, I don't know what is. And when I watched this transpire in front of me, they were very loud, did not try to be a discreet kind of conversation. I realized, you do not respect me. You are trying to test me, because what he would do often is that he liked to pin me and this female together a lot, because this female has always been jealous of me. This female does not like me. This female's envious of the light that is inside of me. So it's very easy to get her annoyed and upset when it comes to me. And he used that all the time, to the point it would get so unbearable that this female, with me just having a simple conversation and me not agreeing with what she is saying, is then in turn telling me that she wants to punch me in my face. But this is the environment I'm supposed to feel safe in and can grow in. People who rarely wear clothing around me, but have an open door policy, claim I'm a peeping Tom, yet are the only ones staring at me. But I'm crazy. But I don't know what's going on. So, after I realized this becoming a pattern, I decided to have a conversation with the female on my own. So I go to the female and I'm like, hey, I got some more issues. I'm even more uncomfortable. These are things that are transpiring This man is no longer even wearing clothes around the house. He's now solely wearing his robe. And because of her response, I did not go into further detail the things that he has done towards me, because her reaction was so disappointing, so disgusting, and very disheartening. Because the woman that I thought I knew was a lie. The woman I thought I knew will protect me, look out for me, care about my comfortability as I cared for theirs, didn't. Simply chose this man over me that was making me uncomfortable. And the day that she chose him over me, I knew that I wasn't safe. And it didn't matter how vocal I became in that house, in that environment. I would never be safe underneath that roof as long as she was by his side, sticking up for him, taking him, and only his word. And that's when I realized that confusion wasn't proof that nothing was wrong. It was proof that something was manipulating my reality. And when I found out who was manipulating my reality, oh baby, I had to go. Because no one would ever deter me from my path ever again like that. Ever again. Would never put me in danger like that again. Would never be that reckless with me again. Would never treat me like the shit on they shoe ever again. And after all that I've done, after all that I stood for, because I could have left, I should have left, I was going to be leaving sooner. But because of the heart that God done gave me, baby, I stood there trying to save you. And you nearly almost got me killed. You nearly almost got me hurt. You nearly almost took my mind, my body, my soul, everything that God poured into me, you almost took it. But God came back, louder and much more clearer. Thanks for being vulnerable. I'll see you again soon. Take care of yourself.